So let me ask you guys a really crazy question. Does a game hit different for you when you're playing it on a platform you really enjoy or like that you like playing that specific type of game on? Like, for example, I prefer to play my shooters more so on Xbox. I take a lot of my adventure and action games and I play those on my PS5, a lot of those PlayStation exclusive experiences. My Switch 2, however, I play, like all kinds of stuff on there. Mainly my Nintendo exclusives, of course. But I've been messing around with a lot of third party, and there's a lot of third party stuff I just tend to enjoy on there. And because I, tried Final Fantasy XIV on it, and you guys know I've played 14 in the past. I have a whole history and story with 14, which we're not even going to get into. But I've found like this new love for it. I don't know if it's, because of the fresh start. I don't know, if it's being able to play it on a Nintendo console. I don't know what it is. But it actually feels really good to play Final Fantasy XIV on Switch 2. And the performance, how this game feels, how it runs, and just the way it is in general on this console, even in handheld mode, has really surprised me. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Gamers and gameheads, what is going on? My name is Tanek027 and welcome back to another video. And guys, in today's video, we're going to be talking more about Final Fantasy XIV. However, if you want to stay updated on all things FFXIV, make sure you are liking today's video, subscribing to the channel if you are new, and let's go ahead and get on into today's topic. So, Final Fantasy XIV, y'all know what it is. There's nothing really to explain here. It's a really big MMORPG based on the Final Fantasy series by Square Enix. It's a really popular MMO. I'm talking, probably this game's probably World of Warcraft's main competitor right now. I think that's safe to say. I could be wrong. If I am, let me know down in the comments. But plenty of content. This is one of the MMOs out there with a really amazing storyline. If you're a first-time Switch player on this game, don't skip cutscenes. Pay attention to the story. The story of this game is I'm talking, that Final Fantasy magic is here. And learning, that the upcoming Evercold expansion, is going to have like stuff with Final Fantasy VII. There's a raid coming, that's based on Final Fantasy VII and stuff like that. That just makes me even more excited. But when I got to experience the game on the Switch 2 for the first time, man, that blew me away. Now, I showed you guys a previous video, that Yoshi P and a bunch of other devs were showcasing on the Switch 2 probably a few days before the game launched. But then, after I pre-ordered the Complete Edition, and I've started the game completely over, a brand new account and everything like that. By the way, if you guys do want to play with me in game, join up with me or whatever, I'll put my information for the game right here on the screen so you guys can, hit me up on 14. I just have to say that the game feels extremely good. Now, I'm not going to, throw a bunch of frame rate counters up on here, try and, say, well, it runs at this specific resolution and frame rate while the PlayStation 5 runs at that and a high-end PC runs at this, Xbox. No. Does the game feel good? Does it look good? Does it run good? You guys can see it right here on the screen for yourselves. Now, from what I have seen and heard, here's how things work for the most part if you're really someone who needs those specific numbers. The game is 60 FPS in instance content, such as, dungeons, raids, and stuff like that. And it's 30 FPS out in the open world, or an unlocked frame rate out in the open world. One or the other. I'm not too sure. I didn't do too much homework on that because I've literally just been playing it, and it feels great no matter where I am. I've played dungeons, they feel good. I've fought world bosses, they feel good. I've done fates with 10, 20, and 30 other players on the screen. They've felt great. And Final Fantasy XIV is running phenomenal on the Switch 2. I honestly have no complaints. Now, I know that there is a loading bug or something like that, causing the game to take a lot longer to load with certain areas or something. Me personally, I haven't experienced this too much, unless just because I haven't played the game for a while. I'm used to, some of the older, slower load times. Maybe, that's why I haven't felt like I've seen it or been bothered by it. But the game, it feels good. I really don't have any complaints about it. The controls did take a little bit getting used to. I don't know why it it feels a little different, you know, just like on the Joy-Cons on the Switch controller. Don't get me wrong, the layout's exactly the same, but something about, you know, the difference between playing it on PlayStation and Switch, you know, it just feels, I'm not gonna say clunky, but just different. I don't know. I'm used to it now, but when I first played it, I was just like, something just feels different or off or weird. And I don't mean like, you know, in a bad way, like, you know, like the game's not processing, like there's some type of lag or, you know, input delay or anything like that. Something just feels different. And I don't know how to describe it. Like, if you happen to be someone, you know, who has both versions, you got it on Switch 2 and you play it on PS5, go run a dungeon on your PS5, then go run a dungeon on your Switch 2, and just, you know, let me know if you notice anything that just feels different or anything like that. But other than that, there's really not too much to say, guys. Like I said, it's Final Fantasy XIV. If you've been here on my channel for a while, a lot of you guys have been recommending and wanting me to cover this game back to back for years now. Hell, I'd probably be a lot farther along on YouTube if I actually listened to you guys and did mostly Final Fantasy XIV content. I don't know, just making a prediction because the game is pretty damn popular. But y'all know what it is. The game feels great. If you've, you know, if you've seen it on PS5, you know, PS4, anything, you know, that's higher than a PS3, you know, or on a decent PC or anything like that, you pretty much know what to expect here. Some people take this version and they compare it to PS4, but, you know, I've zoomed in on my character. I've looked at, you know, resolution and stuff like that. It looks just like all the other current gen versions to me. I don't know. Maybe, you know, I'm off. Maybe I got a better monitor than some people. I don't know what it is. I'm not saying, you know, it's the best way to play the game. PC is always going to be trumpet and be superior and stuff like that. But if you have a PS5, an Xbox, and a Switch 2, and you want to buy the game on your Switch 2, but you just don't know, let this video be your reassurance. It runs great on there, and I don't regret buying it at all. And keep in mind, guys, I'm someone, you know, who semi-frequently, you know, gets review keys and stuff like that from Square Enix. So, you know, I could have, you know, asked for or try to request a key and, you know, just say, hey, you know, the game's good, trust me, bro, and stuff like that. No, I went and bought it with my own money to try it and showcase and everything for you guys, and I've fallen in love with the game all over again. It's a wonderful time, man. If you love it and, you know, you want a handheld place to play it, or, you know, you're just thinking of a platform to try it for the first time on, go with the Switch 2 version. You won't be disappointed. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you're playing 14, let me know what server you're in and your character name, so who knows, maybe we can link up or something like that. Y'all enjoyed today's video? Smash that like. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out. Have a good one.